Frenkie de Jong is being linked with a move to Manchester United and some other clubs around Europe if he doesn't go there. Now, get in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about Frenkie de Jong, because I rate this player. And the reports are saying that Barcelona are going to be willing to sell him for around 30 to 40 million to get him off the wage bill, because he's making a shit ton of money over there. I think that he's one of the highest paid players in Europe, period. And we all know that Barcelona, right, they got a little bit of financial issues going on. And the wages that De Jong is on is hurting them. So they're willing to take a cut price deal for him to leave. Now, let's start off with Manchester United, because that's the club that has been name dropped with De Jong, right? A few summers ago, we also saw him getting linked with the move there, and I think he rejected Manchester United because I think he would have had to take significantly less money, and I think he wanted, or Barcelona wanted, Man United to pay the difference because they do owe him money, right? So, real quick, the reason why Frenkie de Jong's wages are so crazy is because he had to take a massive pay cut a few seasons ago at Barca, and now the pay cut that he took, it's now starting to catch up. So now Barca have to make up the money that they originally owe him, which brings his wages so high. And it's actually crazy when you think about it. But yeah, if you're a United fan, would you take De Jong at your club right now? I think a few seasons ago, right, Manchester United, they did need him. But with the emergence of Kobbie Mainoo, I don't think they need a Frenkie de Jong, because he would kind of play in that Mainoo role. And I think United fans and everybody else expects Mainoo to be a starter for them, right? And United, they do need midfield help in that double pivot, but they need more of a defensive midfielder, right? And Frenkie de Jong, he can play as a DM, but where he's at his best is as an 8, where he has the ball, he's able to progress it, make passes, right? And again, you have Mainoo there. Now, if I was Manchester United, I would go back in for Frenkie de Jong if he's interested. And he would also have to be willing to take a massive pay cut. But I don't think just because you have Mainoo, you shouldn't go out there and sign another baller at the same position, right? If you're Manchester United, right, you're one of the biggest clubs in the world. You need squad competition, right? You need squad depth. And I think having Mainoo and De Jong being one of your options in a pivot, and you can rotate between those two players, that's a good problem to have. But again, I think, maybe Man United's pride might kick in, because he did reject you. Don't forget, they were chasing him for a whole summer. I think it was Ten Hag when he first came in. They were fiending for Frenkie de Jong, but he said no. Now, some people might say, don't go back in for him. But I think, why not? Especially for 30 to 40 million. His market value is about 70 M's. The only issue that I have with De Jong is his fitness, right? The guy has been battling injuries the last few seasons. So it's like, if you bring him in, right, he's still going to be on a high wage. Not as high as he is at Barcelona, but you're still going to have to pay him probably like 300K a week. And then if you bring him in, he's coming to the Premier League possibly, where it's more physical, a lot faster. What if he gets injured again? So that would be a concern. But it's in terms of on the football pitch, when he's fit, De Jong is a baller. And I think a lot of teams should be in for him if that's the price range that Barcelona are willing to accept. I can definitely see him at Man City. I think he fits right in at Man City immediately. Him next to Rodri in that double pivot. What about Arsenal? I think he fits right in there. Next to Declan Rice. He's a baller. It's just the injuries. That's the only concern that I would have with him. But yeah, those wages are crazy. I think he has to take a pay cut if he wants to move. There's nobody that's going to be paying him the 600 or 700K that he's reportedly on at Barcelona. Like, that's how much players are getting paid in Saudi. You're not getting those kind of wages in Europe unless you're freaking like Messi, right? Or unless you're like a generational player like that. Like, not even Mbappe, Vinny, right? Haaland. Like, the best players in the world right now are not on 600K a week. He's not getting that anywhere unless he goes to Saudi. But if he is willing to leave, then yeah, I mean, Manchester United, as I said, Arsenal, Man City, these are all teams that should be in for him. Now, if I'm Barcelona, I'm not selling him. I'm not. Because Hansi Flick has just gotten the job, right? And Barca, even though they're a little weak, they still want to compete, right? They still think they can win the league. They still want to go deep in the Champions League. They still want to go toe-to-toe with Real Madrid. They want to go toe-to-toe with Atletico. How are you going to do that if you're selling your best players? Because to me, aside from Pedri, De Jong is arguably their best midfielder. I know that Gundo was there, but he's kind of fallen off since he's joined them. But I doubt Hansi Flick is looking at Frenkie de Jong and saying, yeah, let's get rid of him. And I don't believe that Hansi Flick would have taken the Barcelona job if they didn't promise him that he'd be able to keep his good players and also make signings. So I don't see this deal happening. I think he stays at Barcelona for at least one more season. But if he was to leave, if I was him, United would not be my first option. It'd be Man City. Then after Man City, it'd be Arsenal. Then after Arsenal, maybe you could talk about Manchester United. But I don't know. Maybe United don't really want him because of the whole saga that's happened in the past. And I think it's an easy link, right? They still have Ten Hag. He was his former manager at Ajax. And again, United were the team that were most interested in him about 2 summers ago. So it makes sense why the links have come up, especially if Barca do want to sell him. But I think stylistically, there's better fits for him, right? Again, the football that we're seeing Ten Hag play at United is haram ball. Ten Hag, this guy's committing crimes against this sport every single time Man United go out there. So if I'm De Jong and I'm seeing how they play, where they're getting outplayed every single week, right? They're chasing the ball more than they have it. They're trying to do counterattacks, right? Like, that's how United are playing at the moment. Why would you go there if you're a player that's very technical, that needs to have the ball, that's at his best when your team is in possession? Because that's not how Man United want to play at the moment, bro. So that might not be the fit for you. But City, Arsenal, would be a fantastic... Yo, there's like an abundance of center mids out there that seem to be on the market this summer. But which club do you think should go sign Frenkie de Jong? Let me know in the comment section.